Alright. Okay. Alright, we are once again on the Swenson firing range. Um, this time I'm going to do two weapons, and it'll be the last two that I do, is I'm really not interested in shotguns, to be honest. Um, and the Russian-ish weapons they have here are semi-fictionalized versions of what are used in this game for various reasons. Um, so, okay, once again, looking at bullet drop. This time, I wonder if I could have tried this before. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So, looking at bullet drop, and what we're going to do, the two weapons I want to do today are the M17, which is the new 6-hour pistol that the Army has picked up, and the M16, specifically the M16A4, which has two shooting options, burst and single. M16A4 is basically an M4 with a 20-inch barrel. Um, I know some people will take issue with that, but the upper receiver and the lower receiver are practically are the lower receiver is interchangeable. The upper receiver is practically the same. Uh, and why they saddled me again with an aim point for the range here, I don't know. Need to pick up my spotting scope. The M16, because of the 20-inch barrel, its effective range is out to about 800 to 1,000 meters. It won't, if done right, set up right, you can keep the bullet above the transonic barrier, meaning it'll be supersonic, out to just over 1,000 meters. But in order to get effective range that far, you have to be able to see your targets, which means you would need some sort of magnified optic. There are target shooters that do that. Without that, your effective range will be limited to your optic. And in all honesty, with an unmagnified optic or iron sights, the 20-inch barrel has about the same effective range. This is according to official Army propaganda. I can show you this in another video if you really want and don't believe me. Has about the same effective range as the M4. So let's look at what we got here. So I'm actually, so I'm here once again. Let me pull up the spotting scope. We've got 50 yards, 50 meters, 75, 100, 125. I haven't even shot the 125 one. I just go straight out to 150, 200, and 250 meters. Okay, those are the ones we're going to look at as far as bullet drop. This time I'm going from the supported position as opposed to prone, just because I think I'll get some better accuracy this way, and I think I've shown you the combat crawl enough. So here we go. Alright, 50 meters. Alright, that was a 3-round burst. So what we got, 1, 2, 3, climbed up a little bit. Alright, so let's do single. Alright, that's again, it's a 50 meter zero, which is quite typical. So we'll go up to 75. Honestly, 75, one thing with this game, it is a milsim, and I understand that even a milsim has its limits. If we had a 50 meter zero, we should be hitting just at the top or just above the Red Bull there, like right about in there maybe. And the reason for that is bullets fire on an arc, so the 50 and the 150 would be where we are hitting 0, and 75 and 100 would be we'd be hitting high, as the bullet would still be arcing up, and then here 200, 250, we'd be hitting low because the bullet's arcing down. Anyway, Um, so let's go to the 100. So yeah, once again, 100 meter 0, 150. We're starting to see a little bit of drop. And that may be because I'm having a hard time lining up the reticle here. Yeah, see, those are more towards 0. Alright, so 100 meters, once again, in wildlands was where we would start, was the edge of most rifles um, and carbines as far as accuracy, or as far as the bullet hitting anything anywhere near 0. After that, we would see very fast drop off, like they had hit the end of their ballistic range. Don't know why, but that's the way it was. So I'm going to throw out the 200 meters now. Sliding scope, and 1, 2, and 3. So we have 1 just below the 0, 1 in the second ring out, 1 in the third ring out. Again, some of this may just be that I've been playing all day. I'm getting a little bit of eye strain at this point, and the accuracy on this is questionable without any sort of magnified optic. Especially when, as you can see, I don't have a whole lot to work with. My reticle dot basically covers the entire target. Second ring out, or first ring out, sorry, yeah, first ring out. Okay, so, not significant drop, okay? I wouldn't be trying to hit a guy in the head at 200 meters anyway. You know, likelihood of doing that is low. It'd be body shots. And if I'm aiming at the top of the chest and I'm hitting in the center of the chest, that's not going to bother me a whole lot as far as effectiveness, combat effectiveness, or anything like that. So here we are, 250 meters. And actually get lined up. There we go. So I see one there in the second ring out. That one there in that's north of the bull. I know that my reticle popped up to the number plate. Try this again. Third ring out. It would have helped if I was actually supported. Reload. Alright, so we're hitting second and third ring out there. Okay, again, 250 meters. We expect some drop, especially with a non-magnified sight. So you can't really do any significant. I mean, it is what it is. Even if to do holdover, I'd actually just hold up here. If I do that, let's see, supported. I'm trying to hold between the plate and the The range plate. Yeah, see if I hold up just into here, I'm getting back onto 0. All right, so that's the M16 as far as bullet drop. Let's go to the M17. Now I'm not going to use supported here, as I just like to do offhand. So here we are once again: 50 meters, 75 meters, 100 meters, and 150 meters, and I can do the 125. So the 50 meters. Yep, 0. 25 meters. Right there. A little low coming in, but expected 100 meters. With Alright, there I was holding up here. I'm hitting down there. This looks like to be the worst drop off of any of them. And honestly, I've never used the M17 in real life. Personally, I'm not a huge SIG fan. Okay, there we go. That time I was holding up here, for sure right there, and I'm hitting right in there. Okay. So that's 100 meters. Let's do 150. Try holding right at the bottom of the plate. Okay, that isn't working. Let's go up onto the range plate. There we go. If I hold up here on the range plate, we're getting around 0. If I hold lower, I'm getting the bottom of the range plate. I'm getting the bottom of the disc. Okay. Last I'm going to do, because I've done this with every other pistol, is try to throw a couple rounds up to the 200-yard mark. I have no expectations of actually hitting this, but I'll give it a shot just for giggles. Alright, same thing as before. I was holding way over. You see I'm hitting there. But again, a pistol is never meant to reach out to 200 meters. Okay, it's not. It's design purpose. And yes, I love the magazine system in this magazine management system. I'm hoping that's something they'll add into the Ghost Recon Breakpoint. We'll see. I know it's been a highly requested feature. Alright, so this time, I usually do mag dumps. Now I only have a burst feature, so that's not going to be anywhere as impressive as far as what kind of climb we get. But, here we go. I actually think the M4 did a little bit better in dispersion there, but as far as not being all over the place, that's just me. would also make sense. Longer barreled rifle, harder to hold, more weight, supported out on the end of your arm. Okay, so this is unsupported standing. That walked up a good bit. Kneeling. Still walked up a little bit, not as bad as the standing. Prone. This should be a lot like the supported. Yeah, that's about what I expected there. That's where the length of the barrel and its weight comes into the fullest effect, is it'll help pull itself down. Okay, so supported position with the M17 mag dump. Be tight. Unsupported standing. Again, that's fairly tight. It's not bad. I'm starting to think maybe I need to try an M17 in real life sometime, and maybe the SIG that I finally like. Alright, so now we're going kneeling. About the same as standing. And we'll do the final mag on prone. Alright, so yeah, not bad. Now, the last thing I'm going to do here is the same thing I've done with every pistol, is come over here to the, I believe I've done these at the 10 meter range, and do a mag dump into the target there. Now again, I want to stress that a mag dump like this is not what you do when you're trying to put accurate fire onto a target, even in a firefight necessarily, unless you're not in cover and you're taking incoming rounds. What you normally want to do is aim targeting to the head, that is the off switch, and up the spinal column this way to the head, from center of chest up. Like, I'll slide over, I'll show you on this one. Walking straight up. Alright, and man, I can do that a lot better with a real pistol than what I just did there. But that's why these are video games and not real life. Okay, so when you do a mag dump on a person like this, it's usually a panic thing. You just want to do a full shot chain to get them down as quickly as possible so that you can then start doing counter threats. And there's various situations, both military, law enforcement, and possibly even civilian, where you would do something like this. And it looks a lot like this. Alright, so we're dumping rounds in. Now, if I were to try to do slightly more aimed fire, and I'm not going to try and walk up, I'm just going to stay X-raying or even the head. That's just, what are we here? 10 meters? 10 meters I could easily hit the head in real life, so let's see. Yep, it would look like that. Possibly a little less dispersion. But the idea with aim fire in that sort of situation is what you do is you wait for the sights to come back, the oscillation to stop, and the sights to come back down. Now, I've said this in other videos. I'll say it again in this one. The person that you're playing here in America's Army unlike Ghost Recon Breakpoint or Ghost Recon Wildlands, is a highly trained average infantryman. Okay, so his abilities reflect that. In Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Wildlands, yeah, that's about normal. Again, with less suspicion in real life. In Breakpoint Wildlands, what you're playing is a super better than the best tier 1 operator who is off doing some crazy insane mission and would have skills well in advance of what you're seeing here in an average infantryman, meaning recoil control, the ability to keep putting rounds on target and bring the sights back on the target is a learned skill. You don't have to take my word for that. There's lots of people online that are legit. Pat Mack, Larry Vickers, the guys at Vigilance Elite, there's a couple others like T-Rex Arms, Duran Thumb. I can keep going. Tactical Rifleman. They'll all tell you that recoil control is a learned skill, and if you look at somebody like Pat Mack or Jerry Masilik, who like to put up videos of fast firing, they can hit fairly tight groups a lot faster than what you're seeing here. And that's because the one guy, Jerry Masilik, is a professional shooter. That's what he does for his living. He shoots, punches holes in paper with bullets. And the other guy, Pat Mack, was Tier 1 gunslinger in Delta Force. So you're seeing real abilities there. And that's... So I would argue, personally, that the level that you see here in this game that Ubisoft also made, by the way, would be the minimal level of what you should and would expect in Ghost Recon Wildlands and in the upcoming Ghost Recon Breakpoint as far as recoil management, if not having it even tighter like you would see again with Jerry Masilik or Pat Mack. Alright, so that's it. I hope you've enjoyed these, and like I've said in the forum, I plan on putting up as soon as possible, once the beta goes, over the course of beta weekend, comparison videos with other like firearms within the Ghost Recon Breakpoint world.